Hi there, and welcome back to Dr. C's Morning Minute. Glad you could be here. I've been talking about the difference between a 504 plan and an IEP, and I want to emphasize that one is not necessarily better than the other, it's just different. It's not uncommon that a child may not qualify for an IEP, but then they can get a 504. The bar for an IEP is much higher, much more stringent, because it is way above and beyond. Again, the accommodations for a child with an IEP are way above and beyond the accommodations that typically would be provided to a child in the regular education program. So it's much more challenging to get an IEP. 504, however, as I mentioned, a diagnosis from a practitioner such as a physician or a psychologist like me, spelling out particularly what the impairment is and how it's getting in the way and what the diagnosis is. That typically is enough, with the school being on board with that there is an impairment in the first place, to get a 504. That is typically a brief document that spells out the accommodations the child will be provided in the regular education program to ensure that they're not being discriminated against and be sure that they're working to their fullest potential. I'd like to touch on that actually in terms of some of the more common accommodations that are provided for kids with 504s, actually with IEPs as well. A commonly used term is preferential seating, which simply means that your child is going to be provided seating that is preferential to them, away from distractions, near the teacher, things of that nature. But I want you to think a bit beyond that. Think about what we refer to as the attention zone of the classroom. Think of a triangle, with the base of the triangle on the front row, closest to where the teacher typically teaches from. That triangle, the student that sit within that triangle, research has shown time and time again, receive the most attention, the most eye contact. They're called on the most, and they typically receive the most proximity. They're closest in proximity to where the teacher typically navigates or roams and things of that nature. They tend to do the best. So that's where you want your kiddo to be, or in that zone, in order to do their best. Again, that's just one of any number of accommodations and strategies that may be utilized in a 504 or an IEP to help your kiddo do their best. That's something we talk about at length during the evaluation process to ensure that what's in the report is going to work for your child and help them, again, work to their fullest potential. Thanks for being here, Dr. C's Morning Minute. See you next time.